Music last session for inspiration.
We had our eclipse, so we went to go face Endelyn. Um, Court and Arlen led uh led a little show about the fall of the Hourglass Coven, an improv production that went over incredibly well. Um, and then Endelyn, at what sounded like the destruction or the dismantling partially of her orrery, um, uh, saw that we had the two elves, so she demanded that her darklings kill them, and then we fought her and her crazy lair contraptions on the stage of on her stage. Um, we killed her, and then began looking around for missing pieces, coming across a terrifying room with puppets and hourglasses, um, and scattered pages, and burned a manuscript. Discovered the bell. Is the bell itself the beacon, or will the bell take us to the beacon?
The bell itself is the beacon.
Okay, that's what I thought. Um, we have the ability to be taken anywhere we wish via the beacon. Um, and I think we were just deciding where. Oh, actually, no. Um, Charmaine, who had joined the fight, was taken as a prisoner, and so we wanted to interrogate her. I don't know what for, but that's what we were doing next.
Yep, with uh, Endelin dead, you've found a pair of lost things. One which silenced the voices in Hemlock's, or not the voices, the murmuring crowd in Hemlock's mind. The battle is won, and your allies have um, made clear their intentions to return as many as they can to their respective homes via a place called the Phalite Beacons. Although there is a mirror to the Witchlight Carnival in Endelin's wardrobe. You are all still, I believe, gathered in the puppet strewn remains of Endelin's bedroom, or the belfry, one or the other, I forget which, having just acquired a number of bottles of bottled lightning from the shelves behind Endelin's private writing desk. What's first?
Banner, did you want to go downstairs and question the prisoner?
Well, yes, certainly we can do that. Yeah, so I'll head down to wherever we've got Charmaine tied up.
Uh, Out in the auditorium, the now slightly lightning scorched auditorium, where a glass bottle of lightning was chucked over a balcony and to the floor. Uh, the the former associate, perhaps even ally of Endelin, Char- Charmaine the Warlock, is bound and gagged in the center of the raised stage. A number of the Corrid and and the Briganox who had come to assist you in the fight with the Darklings are standing around her. Uh, you recognize a number of other faces in the crowd from the actors and other stagehands here at Motherhorn. Uh,
Uh, Hello, Charmaine. I presume you are well enough that you can hear me. You are not so severely injured that you do not understand me. Is this correct?
she nods.
Will you promise not to cast any spells if we remove the gag?
She glares at you for a moment and then nods slowly.
I'll motion to whomever's closest to just take the gag out of her mouth.
One of the Corrids does a little dance, and the Corrid hair rope falls away.
That makes me so happy. Um, well, unfortunately, your patron of the arts, not of your powers, your patron is no more. But that does not mean that your career in the theater must come to an end. What is it that you would like to do now?
I would like to leave. My service is not to Endelin. With my time at this theater at a close, I would prefer to return to my actual patron.
I understand, but I am curious. Why must your time in this theater be at a close? You are still here. The theater is still here.
Also,
She
you could always
looks
come perform at the Witchlight, maybe. I mean, you have to talk to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, but
uh, she looks around at all of the crew, all of whom are preparing to leave. You can see most of the former actors and actresses have their costumes packed away and are in regular clothing. All of the equipment is abandoned, like the cranes and all of that. With Endelin gone, there is no one to. Well, no one's going to come here, and since expect that this plane will once again be returned to Zabilna shortly, I have no intentions of staying around.
Hmm. Well, that is one way to look at it. But even if the realms are reunited under Zabilna, I imagine that this this structure, the theater, no reason that that would not exist. And just because someone is not here now does not mean that no one will be here in the future. I can think of an individual who may very well like to become the patron of this theater, particularly now that it is empty.
Well,
He has a very
good for
intensive
them.
focus. Oh, so you would not be interested in performing for an audience any further?
I do not have the same confidence that you seem to have that this place will stand once the Archfey creator of this domain has regained control. After all, this building was created by one of the ones who betrayed her.
Hmm. Well, then
Besides,
yes.
I'm sure I am sure that Endelin's that I am sure that my patron would like to know of Endelin's fate. After all, it is her. Endelin was my patron's child. That was why I received the favor I did of being allowed to train here. But since that is no more,
Well, then it seems that we are at an impasse. I was hoping that your love for the theater would persist and you would remain, try and make this place your own. But if that is not the case, then we have to cover a more uncomfortable subject. That is whether or not our paths will cross in the future.
Who can say? Certainly not me. You've slain the only one who saw the future.
I can certainly say. I know of a very simple way to make sure our paths do not cross.
Yes, yes, yes. You certainly have the ability to kill me. I am tied up here and helpless. My spirit will go to join my patron. I'm sure she will have very many questions for me.
And that is what you would prefer?
No, I would much prefer to join her as a living, breathing creature, you understand. I do appreciate your offer to take care of this, or to take over this place, to run it as I would see fit, but while I may have had the time for a dalliance of my own show while Endelyn was still alive, with her dead, there is nothing to tie me to this realm. There is certainly something that ties me elsewhere. She kind of grimaces.
Yeah. I'll turn to Arlen and Hemlock and Court. What say you? What shall we do with the former diva of this theater?
I don't know that it would be worth our time to kill her. However, if she continues to menace us, I believe that might be something to consider.
Yes, that is my concern exactly. And I don't know whether it is worth the time or not, but the time it will take is nothing.
We gave Zarak the chance to change his intentions. And I'll look and quirk my eyebrow at Charme.
She returns the look with a mixture of what is the word I'm looking for? A sort of it's weird to say, but empathic defiance, and says, I have no desire to cross your paths ever again. Honestly, were it not for Endelyn and her relation to my patron, I would not have crossed them the first time. But, as you seem like you might know, occasionally bargains are made which take certain elements of one's fate out of their own hands. I have no desire to ever see any of you again. No offense intended. But who can say what my mistress might want? And were you to allow me to leave and she were to order me so, I would have no real say in the matter.
And who is your mistress?
The Baba Yaga.
She is immensely powerful. you understand. I would have no way to deny her requests. And if I'm honest, no real reason to do so. Whatever bargain we come up with now is for now. Although, like I said, I never want to see any of you again. My lesson has been learned as far as I'm concerned.
Look at Arlen.
I mean, I'm not worried about it. It'll happen or it won't. I think we'll just let her go.
All right.
It looks like it is your lucky day.
I do appreciate that. For what it's worth, and in accordance with the rules of this realm, I expect I was not supposed to overhear Endelin speaking this particular thing, but I did. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it goes to, but perhaps you may one day find use with it. And she summons to her hand a pen and paper and jots down a little verse, which I put into both Discord and into Roll20.
While you're doing that, I actually had to check Banner's alignment again, just because Adam's impulse was like, dude, I don't want to run into her again. Let's just end it. And then looked at the alignment. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that that's going to work for Banner. All right.
8 cats perch atop 8 dead attending. 8 lizards flee from 8 rats scavenging. 8 toads climbing meet 8 dead and falling. 8 snakes sneak under 8 bats screaming. 8 eyes open, always dreaming. All on the cauldron that is ever seen.
5 golden rings.
Yes. Adorable.
And where you said you heard Endelin speak this?
Correct. She was at her writing desk, jotting something down, I suppose. That's where she went to work on her plays.
I think this may yet be another secret, as the Sisters of the Coven each had a fatal secret they kept with one another. Perhaps this may be something bigger to have to do with Zybilna. Or breaking her enchantment appropriately.
I'm sure I have no idea, but if we are settled up here, I would like to be going now.
I think that's well enough.
She gives a very, very dramatic bow, the kind where you really roll your hand and then dip low, and says a few magical words, sort of turns sideways and vanishes from view.
Well, I am now officially at a loss of potential romantic partners for the Cyclops.
God, that's what you were gonna.
Yes. I'll look around for any stray darkling or goblin that I happen to see.
Yes, I mean,
Th-
I know it was not ideal, but I figure she liked to be on stage. He seemed very attentive. Perhaps it was something to build on, flimsy, but something.
No, truthfully insightful.
there are a number of goblin crew that remain, as well as a number of uh, actors and actresses of all kinds. There are you know there are the three Darklings in the library as well, but I mean Cyclops. So
I point to literally anyone nearby. You there, do you wish to marry a property owner?
Very thick.
you, you point at a little goblin who scurries over immediately to another goblin and grabs their hand. Uh, I'm already. We have a child.
Apologies.
Should really be getting. Should really wait if Endelin's gone. And they look at
Are
each other.
you... Wait, what is the name of your child?
Penia?
Where did we leave her? We left her somewhere safe. I just don't remember where.
You sent her with Clapperclaw back to her house, her original home.
Okay, I will just say, "Oh, she's fine. We've spoken with her. She went home and is waiting for you to return."
The two of them go wide-eyed, uh, bow their thanks profusely, and are bolting for the stairs.
Maybe you're interested in a third to spice things. Oh, damn it!
Considering the poor creature only recently conceived of the concept of love, I think the idea of... I think that might be more than he might be ready to take on at any time.
Yes, perhaps perhaps we can convince him that it is not a person that he seeks, but a thing. Maybe we can instill in him. We can bring him here and instill in him the love of the theater. Alan, Cott, do you want to attempt to reprise your production?
That was a one-time showing, limited run.
Oh, I understand, Maestro. I do not mean to persist. Well, I am out of ideas for our one-eyed friend.
Maybe we just let him pine a while. That's an important part of like growing. You can't have love without a little longing.
Very wise words, Alan. Very wise. Well, what are we to do now?
I believe our next point would be the tower. The palace, although we told Gleam and Glister we would aid them in returning to the carnival, I believe.
Hmm.
Two of them are standing, speaking to Hurley and a few other actors and actresses. Amador and Pollinella are standing close by.
Where is it that you are intending to return to?
Well, while I was a guest of Endolin's, there was a young prince here named Alagathas, and he mentioned he would be returning via the Phalite beacons, which are, uh, a, I suppose, a good march from here, but there shouldn't be anything so dangerous, I don't believe, on the way. It's a Fey crossing, you understand, or I suppose you. I mean, you've been here long enough. You understand, right?
Well, we've had fortune of traveling through fragments of this world, but it hasn't been I wouldn't consider conventional means.
I'm not sure how to take that, but I we would very much welcome your company on the trip, but there are enough of us, and Amador has agreed to take us there. Um, I think we will be safe if your business draws you elsewhere immediately.
I'll look at everyone else. Should we move to the palace next?
I mean, the sooner we get Prisoner put back together, the better it is for everybody, I think.
I certainly agree, and I am still hoping to find Harold, and all signs point to him being there, or at least that being the last place anyone has seen him. So, can these beacons, they can take us to the palace?
To the palace? I don't know though. They're a planar travel.
Hmm. Well then, does anyone know how we get to the palace?
Uh, I Amador, you've been to the palace, you said. I have been there once or twice. I could take you if you needed to go, but I insist on going to the beacons first. I must keep my word. Although, if you have ways to fly, it is. And he gestures off into the distance, and you can see the. I was about to say towering towers. You can see the silhouette of the long, slender towers sticking up out of the mists that, much like the other realm or fractions of this realm that you've been in, sort of surrounds the periphery of Yon. The mists are certainly a risk, but
Oh,
you would be able to get through.
Did we not see the big mechanical thing with wings?
I don't know if the ornithopter is big enough to carry all of us.
We have the lily pad as well.
Well, it seems our choices are to either try and find means to fly there on our own, wait here for Amador to return from the beacons, or accompany Amador to the beacons and then set off after that.
Yeah, I don't think we are in too much of a rush to accompany Amador.
There is also the bell. Just reminding you.
Yeah, I
You all
think
mentioned it this morning. Well, not this
well,
morning, like
I think that's what I'm
earlier.
confused about is that everyone like the others here have been mentioning we're going to go to a beacon, but this bell is a beacon, right?
Okay. Same word, um two different uses. It
Okay.
is a beacon. They are referring to. I'm going to pull you all back to the Eon map. They are referring to the Fey beacons, which you have actually seen. And Gleam and Glister are able to clarify that if all of the beacons were to be lit at the same time, the lake in the center becomes a planar portal. While you all
Okay.
were making your way to the Briganock mines, you saw these things that they have described, but whoever was attempting to light the beacons, whoever was attempting to light the beacons would only get one or two lit before some of the lights were going out.
Okay.
The bell is a beacon in the sense that it is apparently meant to call something.
Okay.
I apologize for the confusion.
So would it be feasible to use the Fey beacons to get to the palace, or because it's technically in the same plane?
No, yeah, we just need to use the bell to get there,
Or fly.
or
Mhm.
fly ourselves. The bell might call something that'll bring us there. That'll be fun.
Maybe. In any case, I think we have the opportunity to escort our friends to the Fey beacons first, and then we can decide either to come back here for the bell or just try to fly.
Wonderful. Amador, looks like we will be following you.
Fantastic. The trip to the Fey beacons is largely down a winding path that takes you once again through the mountains of Yon. The storms seem to have settled. The lightning rods have all vanished from view as the work of the Chorids and Briganox becomes apparent. The rather large group that uh, that begins the journey from Motherhorn does slow the progress a little bit. Many are either simply slower than others. Some are certainly weaker or otherwise just unable to keep up. And so the regular pace with which you have made your way through the mountains slows a bit, and you are able to sense the storm has abated, better able to see up into the sky above you, the glittering stars, the occasional comet or other stellar phenomenon, oddly peaceful after the tumultuous, that's the word I'm looking for, trip to Motherhorn itself. Eventually, the odd appearance of the beacons comes fully into view in front of you, and you are looking at. You can see the pillars at a good distance before you truly enter the valley plateau, the clear area of mountain where these beacons stand, where they have been carved into, or rather from, what was apparently once a considerably larger mountain. The columns are each roughly 200 feet tall. They are 150 feet across. I'm sorry, 150 feet apart. Apart from their neighbor, I should say, since nestled in the middle of each of these columns, which form a ring around it, is a crystal clear blue lake. And were the weather still the horrific storms and heavy winds that you all experienced upon your arrival to Yan, the water would almost certainly be choppy um, and and rough waves. But instead, there is a rather peaceful serenity to the still water. There is nothing growing in it. There are no fish. There are no plants. It is simply a perfectly clear pool of water that darkens considerably towards the middle and the deepest part. Um, Only Hemlock, with your incredible dark vision, are able to even begin to make out the bottom of this lake. For everyone else, it is well past your I guess none of you have. I was about to say well past your dark vision, but um, standing, or rather climbing up one of the beacons, climbing a stairwell which seems to wind all the way around the tall stone pillar, is a a humanoid figure carrying a torch, dressed in a green doublet and hose, and with a very elaborately gilded scabbard on one side. As he reaches the top of the beacon and drops the torch, or not drops, but touches the torch into into a large copper brazier that you can see just reflected in the torch that he carries, or rather, you can see it reflecting the light of the torch that he is carrying. Um, the flame catches immediately within this copper basin, and the the beacon lights, and the individual immediately turns around and begins making his way back down the steps. And when he reaches the base and he sees you all, he nods wordlessly and begins climbing up the next beacon clockwise around, which is about 300 feet or so from where you are. When he gets about halfway up, descending from the sky, not hidden behind any clouds or anything, but simply dark feathered against the darkness of the night sky here in Yon. 8 winged figures approach, looking like exceptionally large birds of some sort, except in true Feywild fashion, they have antlers. And they all land around this brazier. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen like buzzards or eagles or owls when they are sunning themselves, and they just sort of hold their wings up, and it looks it's pretty wild. They stand there with their wings out around the fire for a moment, presumably warming themselves, until almost simultaneously they all begin beating their wings rapidly and harshly, and the fire on the top of that beacon goes out. There is a curse in Elvish, which, as we have discovered, none of you understand, but the inflection and the tone are all very clear. And this figure carrying the torch turns around halfway up the beacon on which he has climbed, gets to the bottom of the stairs, and sits down. He looks over at you all and seems to recognize at least a few of your number. And Gleam and Glister both walk about half the distance between you and this individual. And as they pass you, you can hear them. As they pass you, this is Alagathas, the one I told you about. I suppose you've had no luck then. And the elf shakes his head and drops his does the rubbing your temples with one hand, like squeezing his head to rub a headache out. I have been trying for what feels like days, but every time I light these beacons, and he gestures with a torch up at the creatures uh, that have so recently snuffed out one of the flames. I'm
Is,
yes.
is it just these? And he points at the creatures at the top of the spire.
Yes, they are. They were. They were fellow guests of Endelin's, as was I. As were the two of you. How did you? Uh, sorry, distracted. I realized that Endelin was never going to live up to the bargain. that I had made, or sought to make, rather, and so I sought to leave. She didn't exactly send these things to harry me and convince me to return back, but nor have they allowed me to leave. Forgive my rudeness. He stands up and dusts himself off for all the good it does for a set of clothes that have clearly not seen wash in a while. Um, and he bows. I am Alagathos. I am prince of a world called, well, from rather a world called Toril. I don't know where you are from.
Actually, we're rather familiar.
Ah, what area do you call home there?
I might be the only one who does have a home specifically there. Flame.
Oh, I see. Um, I have never been there, although I'm familiar with the name.
I wouldn't if I were you. Anyway,
It is,
it would.
it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Benair. Does it strike any of you as odd that we just heard this poem, I guess, that Enderlin recited or wrote or received that repeats the number 8 over and over again? And here we see 8 of these birds that are preventing the Vebigans from being meat.
All on the cauldron that is ever seeming? Sort of gesture at the lake.
So perhaps more than just coincidence.
Probably not. There is a certain magic to that number. What, forgive me, what is it that brings you to the, are you also seeking to escape?
Not exactly. Not us. You have wandered this way so that they may leave, and we seek to find Zabilna's palace.
Palace. He gestures towards the distant spire.
Yes, I should say find our way to it. We've been able to see it for some days.
I wish you luck. I I have not ever been there myself. I was brought here by Endelin, so by then she had taken up residence here in Motherhorn. How is it you managed to get Gleam and Glister, the two of you?
Oh,
She was not intending to see you free.
She will not see them free. She will not see anything.
Oh,
Yes, she is dead.
and her library? Does her
still
library
accessible.
remain?
Yes. Is there something in there that you wished to trade for? I'm not asking for you to trade now, but what brought you to make a deal with Endelin?
There was a dragon, a green dragon, that claimed the forest. Accidentally muted myself. Claimed the forest that in which our kingdom is held. Claimed it as his home. I was afraid of what it might do, and Endelin visited me one night and uh, promised to show me the future, show me how I defeat the dragon so that I may help my kingdom. In return, I had to give her a year of my time. Well, I agreed. What is a year for me, for the life of my kingdom? I was born on Toriel. I was unaware of the difference in the way time flows here, and I soon came to realize that she never intended to let me go. But if what she said is true, if there is a future in which I have defeated this creature, I must know how.
There is no one besides the keepers in the archive. They should not. I can't imagine that they would bother you. They've offered us the collection when we were there.
Excellent. Oh my! Uh, I should check before. And there is someone who can search them. Someone who can help me find what I need.
I assume so. The archivists seem to be capable. They knew who we were and how to help us if we so chose to take their assistance.
I cannot express the. I cannot express my gratitude for here, and he hands over the torch to whoever will take it. Um, good luck with good luck with the mummers. Um,
What, those things?
yes.
Are they the only creatures that have been accosting you?
Yes. Uh, I think they are bored. They are, or were, rather, a group of actors. They sought to learn from Endelin, and, well, this is what they became in the end.
Oh,
They seem to have enjoyed tormenting me and keeping me here, but perhaps by the time I return, they will have lost interest. Hopefully, they do not. Well, I, s- mm, I really must hurry for my people, but enough time, I suppose, has.
you should go to Motherhorn. We will see to this. And I'll nod towards the pillars.
I appreciate that. If you are still here, well, perhaps we can deal with this together. But for all of our sakes, rather, I hope that you have made your way home or to the palace. If you ever If you ever find your way out to Cryptgarden Forest, know that you have friends there.
Thank you.
Good luck. I hope you find what you are looking for in the library.
He nods and goes sprinting up the way you have came, up the way you all have come, bumping into a number of individuals on his way past. Gleam and Glister look to you all. Well, how? I mean, we could try to simply light them all at once.
Yes, but that wouldn't keep the gate open should anyone else need to make use of it. Agalathas would be stranded to continue his perpetual spiral through this place should we not eradicate the problem, preventing his departure.
Ah,
So
that
maybe
is
we
true.
light one of these things, and then we climb up there, and we light one of them, and we wait for him to come, and then we take care of the problem.
Sort of inclined to agree with it. I know he said they were just actors, but they seem to be real pieces of shit.
I expect I expect the curse of Endelin did not help in that regard. No.
I mean, I could try to prepare remove curse maybe. I don't think that's even something I can do actually. I'm not sure. Um, but
It is no problem. I can remove curse. And I pound my fist into my open palm.
It has worked for us many, many times in the past.
Well, let us start climbing. And I'll start heading up one of the beacons, whichever the closest beacon is.
The there's no good way to describe which beacon, so it doesn't really matter. But the closest
Right.
one is the one that Alargathos was seated on when you all, or rather, was halfway up climbing when you all arrived. It is a long climb. Like I said, this is a 200-foot tall column that is which the stairwell winds around the outside. And by the time you reach the top, the creatures on the pillar, essentially one counterclockwise from you, have definitely noticed you. They have all hopped to the edge of the pillar that they are on and are eyeing you. You see a few of them have taken to the sky and are watching Prince Alargathas make his way back to Motherhorn.
Banner will light a torch and drop it in this beacon.
The flames immediately begin to dance, and the sound of the crack of firewood, or rather the coal within the copper brazier. The flames dance, the smoke begins to climb, and you can see the Peritons perched on the edge of the pillar that they are on, just watching, waiting.
How far away are they? Like 150 feet, you said, between pillars?
Correct.
Okay. I just sort of lean over to Banner and just say, I think I could hit one from here.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Perhaps provoke it into coming closer.
Do you think that would work, or do you think they're more interested in antagonizing rather than killing?
I think it is worth a shot. I am concerned that they will not approach while we are up here, but maybe this will anger them and make them charge.
One way to find out. I'll produce my wand and hurl an Eldritch Blast or two their way. But I believe that spell only has a range of 120 feet.
Yep.
Which is fine because that's still damn near closer than they probably thought I could throw
Yeah.
it.
Still, there is still, a good amount of space between the end of the blast and their faces, but they definitely noticed. They definitely back away. The ones that were flying come down onto the beacon that is even past the one that they are standing on, that the other group was standing on, rather. So they are about 300 feet away from you, and the ones that were on the previously lit beacon, where you saw them put out the fire, back all the way up. Not that that gets them a whole lot of space. Only about 15, maybe 20 feet further back. But as far as demeanor, you can tell that they have gone from, oh yeah, leave, I'm gonna put that flame out, to, huh, maybe this isn't a great plan. Their posture has dropped. They're giving you the side eye instead of the straight, instead of staring straight on. But they have not fled entirely.
I will say, I'll say that, say this to kind of us broadly, but kind of pointed at Banner. That is sort of all I can do at this time. I lost my temper earlier, and that is sort of the extent of my power right
Mm.
now.
Yeah, maybe.
Perhaps,
Yes, Arlen?
perhaps I could make it look like we've left, but we're actually still here, and then maybe they'll come over, and then we can surprise them. But like, then they can just fly away again.
Yes, that is a problem.
Yes, well, if we can get them to approach, perhaps I would be able to grab one or two.
I think that
Alright.
would work if we could get you to grab one.
I will cast a major image around us, and the image is just like this platform with the fire going, but us not there.
That would make it more like you turned invisible than
I'll shout real loud, okay, guys, on to the next one. I'll just teleport us out of here.
Please make me.
Now, of course, like, we're not gonna show up anywhere else, so that's a problem. But
Still, please make me a deception check.
okay. Do, 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 do. Deception.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
You watch them wait a few minutes, looking at each other. Occasionally, one hops to the edge of the beacon that they're standing on, and after 2 or 3 minutes, two of them take off and fly very slowly, very cautiously over to the beacon that you all are standing on. And they touch down just on the very edge. They begin looking around.
As soon as
I
one
will
gets
say
close, I'm
that
going to grab one.
they are able to make like an investigation check against my spell save DC to try to see past the illusion.
Yep.
That DC is 19.
Okay. Okay.
Actually,
You said intelligence save? Investigation.
Investigation check.
All the same when you have proficiency in neither of those things. I don't have a map for this because I was not expecting to need a map for the top of a beacon. So we're gonna go a little fast and loose here.
love it.
What map did you have?
I think I actually do have one somewhere. I I I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that question.
Interesting.
And my computer seems to be frozen.
Are there
Okay.
currently two of these things on top of the
Yes.
beacon?
There are two of them on top of. Oh, I do have one. It doesn't matter. There are currently two of them on the platform that you are on.
Can,
They
can I tell that they're sniffing around trying to figure out what's going on up here?
they are definitely doing that. Yes, you
Okay.
can see them. Like I said, they land on the very edge, and they are scratching around and moving very slowly and very, very cautiously as uh, as they are just happened. As they are drawing closer to the brazier at the center of this pillar.
Okay.
They do get close to you. However, as you go to grab them, it is apparent that they have become aware of. So you can still try to grab one, definitely, but there is no surprise to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Of all the things to roll a natural 20 on, I did not expect it to be for the -1 intelligence modifier monster here.
God, they could have failed that.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. What actually is your DC? You said it, and I've already
My
19.
forgotten.
the DC is 19, so they got a
Okay.
19 on a nat 20.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
hey, I can see them. Can I make? Well, hold on.
I think we are at a point where we are going to be doing combat because they're like within range now.
Right.
Give me just
They
a
might get
second.
away. I was gonna
I
say like I might try to
got
use
this.
silvery barbs. But the thing about that is it is a verbal component, so like it would be still, making myself known.
That would be pretty funny though. You don't see me.
That'd be a great way to cast a
Need-
spell. You don't see me.
Creatures. Hold on just a second. I swear to God, if you don't have these, you Why would you have this be an option and not put the token in here, guys? You lazy bastards. Thankfully, it's in the monster menu. So.
I love these monsters. They're kind of simple as far as like mechanics of a beast, like as an enemy goes, but they've got weird fucking lore and they
They're so wild.
look so cool.
I turns out I did have a map. I just didn't actually upload. I
How
should
high up off the ground are we?
200 feet.
Interesting.
Each of these columns is 200 feet high. Did that work? You all can see, right? Because I don't even have.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even have dynamic lighting on for this.
Oh my god.
Keep in mind there are, as I said,
Oh my
6 more of these
god.
bad boys. So
That'll be fun.
alrighty. Oof. Oof. Harlan.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, do we have spells back?
Yes. Yeah. You
Okay.
guys leveled up, so just like in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't have any of those. Okay. I don't want to try to make him run away. I'd like to make him stay here. I'm gonna cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Okay.
And hit a 30-foot cube that catches both of them, just like
Right through the middle.
one square past Banner, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so wisdom saving throws to not be charmed.
Both of their eyes glaze over. They appear to be hypnotized.
Okay. All right. If you hit one of them, it'll wake them up, I think. But like, we just don't do that to both of them, and we're golden. And maybe the other guys will move over here. Though I guess we probably don't want all of them at once. I'll give a bardic inspiration to Banner.
Okay. They are incapacitated. Hemlock.
Okay. Let's. This would be interesting. I'm going to Chaos Bolt at 4th level.
Okay.
I'm using a Warlock slot for it.
Mhm.
Because it would be actually really funny if like it did a crazy ton of damage and like put us off in a good way, and then could possibly bounce to the other guy and do the same. But we'll see what happens.
That will
20.
definitely hit.
All right. Ah, fuck! I gotta remember how this spell works.
2d8, the d6s, you do get double eights. You do roll doubles,
Yep.
which means it'll bounce.
Is it on the 6s or is it on the 8s?
It's on the 8s.
Okay. All right. So sorry, guess that's hitting the other guy too.
That's fine.
17.
That will also hit. Which one were you targeting first? I assume the
The
close
one on the yeah, on the right.
Yeah, he's real messed up.
Okay. So sorry for undoing the hypnotic pattern, but I was if I could get them both in one shot, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
They still did lose their turn from it, so.
Okay. That's it for my turn.
And Banner.
All right. I will step up here, and then at the one that looks more hurt, I'll take a swing.
That'll do it. It barely has time to squawk before you cave. Well, I mean, it's up to you if you're killing it or not.
I'm killing it.
Okay, then yeah, you just cave right through its head, and its body slumps to the ground, and then falls 200 feet.
All right, I spin around and take another swing.
That'll do it.
And with my bonus action, I'm going to try and grab hold.
Okay. It manages to fend you off, beating its wings wildly and pushing you off with its antlers.
Son of a bitch.
Anything else?
That's it.
Arlen, your turn.
I will just throw a mind sliver at this other one.
I am spoiled by Foundry as I'm sitting here like, where's my button to click to just save against that? Oh, that's a 1. There is a brief sound, and that one falls off the pillar to join its dead companion at the bottom of the column. The others immediately take flight and disappear into the sky.
I was gonna say, how likely did you think it would be for us to get the others with that same trick?
Well, yes. Look, I think it probably will not work on this pillar, but if we go to the next one, I'm sure it will work.
Well, I could make the illusion have these two guys here also.
Yes.
But it wouldn't get rid of the corpses at the base of the pillar.
I'm sure they don't. They don't see those. It will be fine.
Well, I mean, it kind of seems like they have fled now. So,
Mhm.
like, maybe we go to the next one and try to light it.
It's,
See what
yes,
happens?
absolutely.
I just worry that if we are able to get this working before the prince returns, then he might not be able to. If we leave and they return after he does, I mean, that still leaves him in the same spot he was in. But
Yes,
we
well,
can't really do anything about that now.
if we get them all lit, perhaps we camp out for a little bit and see if he returns.
Good idea. Great idea.
Wonderful. To the next beacon then.
Yes.
Onward. I think I will just hop on the lily pad and try to fly over. Um,
Instead of
sorry,
going down and then up.
this isn't gonna be able to get all of us over there, but I've got very little legs.
It's fine. I just start walking back down.
Yeah, one moment, Arlen, and I will give Arlen 6 torches. Yes, you will probably be faster than all of us. You can probably get these all lit.
Yeah, I can try to do that.
Okay,
See,
here's
if I
what we will
remember
do.
right-
You go counterclockwise, and I will try to go down and up the one just clockwise from here, and we will see if you can get to the other 7 before I can get to that one.
Yeah, I mean, my flying speed is only 20 feet, but I'm not having to climb towers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You figure at a full dash, and again, and that's at combat speed, not like travel speed. You can make it there in 7 rounds. Poor Banner is running 200 feet down, 150 feet to the next beacon, and 200 feet up.
okay,
Um,
well, we should just keep an eye out for the return of the bird guys. I mean, Hemlock, do you want to like ride along with me?
Sure.
As long as we're under 300 pounds, we won't have our speed halved.
All right. I know that I'm listen. I'm just tall. All right.
I'm just meaning that that's why we can't take Banner. All right. Well, the two of us will start flying. That way, if we get attacked in the air, we've got a little more firepower, and we'll start trying to light some torches.
The non 3-dimensional nature of movement speed works against me here because with my boots of spider climbing, I am going straight down the side of this pillar.
That's right. It does save you from having to like circle the pillars the whole
Right.
time.
Right. So, I mean, it's just the straight 200 feet as opposed to whatever the that extended thing would be. But I still don't think the 550 feet, I mean, it's going to take me forever to do that.
There is no sign of these creatures return as you all either hop on the lily pad or make your way straight down the columns. Banner, you are able to get to one. Maybe you're approaching another one before Arlen and Hemlock can make it
Well, if I
around.
am able to get to one additional pillar, then I am the winner. I'll be just on my one additional pillar dancing to Jake.
As you light the last of the beacons, you look down and the lake has begun to churn and bubble. The water rippling and rolling as though a great flame has been lit under it. There is a hiss of steam as a large bubble rises out of the center and pops, and then all of the braziers go out.
Well, shoot, now we gotta do it again. Wait, it worked?
Detect magic?
The whole area is magic. There does not. I mean, this is a Fey crossing, so the whole thing reeks basically of conjuration magic. Sorry, I have to make sure that's okay. But there is no obvious portal. When the flames went out, there was a brief flare from each one. The ones that Arlen had lit all flared with the the pink light that you are familiar with from either the fortuitous flame or from Arlen's individual magic. The ones that Banner lit went with a greenish, almost the color of verdigris light.
Wasn't there something about the moment that they're lit that it opens into a portal?
Yes. So you think it will only act as a portal for that moment, and that people must be in the water when all the braziers are lit?
Maybe. Are Gleam and Glister like down somewhere?
They
Okay.
are still standing with the rest of the crew.
I'll
The rest of the people that you have brought from the
I'll throw a message to them and say, we can light the braziers, but will they need to be lit for you to move through the portal?
um Alargathos seemed to think that he could do it on his own, so I imagine there would be some time.
Well,
I'm not sure how they know where to connect to. It's supposed to be for the lighter's home, but
oh, well, in
Maybe
that case,
because maybe if it's because like I lit some of them and Banner lit some of them, and we have different homes.
right.
And like, I mean, my home is not necessarily like a set place. Hmm.
I think that if they're right, then Gleaming Glister will have to light their own, and then anyone who wishes to leave would also have to do so. We can just be here on guard in case the Peritons return.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, does it take you right to your front door or just to your home plane? Because, like, if you lit them, then that would just get them back to, you know, Toril or whatever.
I don't think we have really the opportunity to experiment. I think we just have to do it. Someone has to light them and then go into the lake.
Well, and if their goal is to return to the carnival, who knows where the carnival is right now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the House of Mirrors, we still have that mirror within Endelin's home. Uh, Her lair has a portal right to the carnival.
Well, then we should ask Gleam and Glister and Early if they want to return to the carnival or to some other location. The mirror will take them to the carnival, but if they want to go somewhere else, then they will have to take a turn lighting these braziers and crossing their fingers that it takes them where they want to go.
I ask them if they wish to return to the carnival.
we would like to, certainly, but there are others here.
I explained to them that like we think that if what was his name Algarthas was correct, then each person needs to light the braziers themselves and then go into the lake, which means anyone who's going to the Witchlight um, will have an easier time if we just go back to Motherhorn and go through that portal. Lagathas.
Oh, we can. I mean, should should someone else try, and then we can just see how it goes? I mean, if your friend doesn't mind flying someone around, I feel like that'd be a pretty fast way to have someone light all the beacons.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll hop off.
And yeah, whoever hops on, I'll give them the tour de beacons, and yeah.
A a a tiefling woman climbs onto the lily pad, resting a hand on your shoulder for stability. Uh, you saw her when you met with Hurley. She was one of the performers in the same show that Hurley was in. She saw her pacing around talking to a tiefling skull. Elegy, thank you for getting me back to Sigil. I very much want to leave this place.
Oh yeah, for sure. Say, after you go through the portal, will you say I can try to like chat with you telepathically and like ask you where you wind up?
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right, sweet.
Whatever you need.
Cool. There's a chance it won't work, so like if you don't answer, then I'll assume it didn't work. But if it does work, please answer so that you know what I mean.
Anything I can do to help, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
okay. Sorry, it's load pad's kind of slow, but any like road trip songs?
Um, oh, I would portal 500 miles, and I would portal 500 more. Just, just
Ugh.
it really gets catchy about the third or fourth time through. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Uh,
And here we are, the last pillar.
as the last brazier catches, you see the surface of the water, uh, whereas previously it had roiled and bubbled. It goes almost completely still, not even tiny little waves on the shore, no ripples or anything. And in the reflective, almost mirror quality, not quality, mirror like, yeah, in the surface of the water, as though you are looking at something on the other side of a pane of glass. A tall, a tall spire climbs completely out of your view. It is so tall. There are a number of winding streets. There are all kinds of strange beings uh, moving around the just absolutely bustling streets, full of life and strange geometric shaped creatures with arms and legs and wings and spears and uh, a certainly a sight for anyone who has never beheld the the strange world of Sigil. Elegy, the tiefling, claps her hands excitedly, and sets the tiefling skull that she has had still tucked under one arm down on the lily pad, wraps her arms around your head in a hug. Um, Arlen, oh, thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness, I can finally go home. Oh,
I'm
well,
glad that we could help. Just remember, I'm just going to check
mhm.
in, make sure everything goes according to plan. Um, yeah. Good luck. You're welcome.
You land the lily pad on the shore of the
Oh,
river,
she
and
doesn't want to do a high dive.
Oh my god.
I mean, like 10 feet, maybe, but 200. After a moment or so, uh, of her walking out into the lake, which again produces no ripples. She walks through the water and it simply parts in front of her and rejoins behind her with no movement whatsoever. As she makes it out into about 30 or 40, maybe even 50 feet into the middle of the lake, there is finally a single ripple through the water. And as the ripple passes over the image, the strange city of Sigil fades away, and Elegy is gone. As the image fades, each of the beacons puffs out a a a purple puff of smoke from each of these 8 fires as each one goes out.
Sweet. Um, I'll let a minute pass and then I'll cast Sending to Elegy. Just say, "All right, are you safe and sound? Let me know like where it put you if you recognize your surroundings."
Oh, oh no, I'm definitely home. I'm definitely home. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. If you're ever in Sigil, look me up.
I will not be spending another Sending to reply, but yes, fantastic. Uh, I'll fly back over to the guys and just say, yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like it worked. She said that she's home, safe and sound. Who's next?
There is a murmur of excitement from the crowd, and over the next couple, well, next hour or so, um, you are able to uh, float people around to each of the beacons and light them. As it turns out, if there are people going to the same location, as long as they all go into the water roughly at the same time, they are all able to pass through. You watch as a number of people disappear onto a world uh, with what appears to be a large stone platform with various covers on it, and you watch as uh, a metal carriage comes screaming up, uh, arcs of lightning crackling all around its base. There is uh, uh, another pair that goes off to a very a world that looks very, very similar to your own, stepping into a very quaint village with large fields of grain and a stone well for water in the center of a small picturesque village. Until eventually, standing on the shores with you all is Gleam and Glister and Hurley, um, and a few other individuals who either are from Toril or want to go with them. Well, down to us. Thank you again for everything. Thank you for helping me rescue my sister. Thank you for helping me rescue my sister, I think you mean. You were the one. You're the one without a shadow still. All right, shut up, or I'll turn you into a bat. I think they have zipped away.
Yeah, Miles just got home, and
Yeah.
we're getting him
Yeah,
taken
yeah.
care of. But yeah, we'll be. I'm working
Do
on
your thing.
running
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
distractions.
about it.
I'm working on
No,
running
no.
distractions. That way,
Yeah.
like Miles doesn't throw a fit when Willow
Yeah.
leaves.
How about
yeah.
if we take
We'll
our
just take
break
a
right
break.
now?
Yeah. We'll wait till you guys get back.
All right, buddy.
Follow-up question. I am unsure where we got to while I was talking to just Adam. So
I was listening for the most part. Like I heard, going through and getting the other people
okay.
Right.
out
Going
of there and
through,
stuff.
right, getting the other people out of there, and then Banner taking over Jan and going back and taking over Hither and Tither as well, and consolidating power. So we're all clear that that's what's happened and that's where we
Oh
are.
no,
right?
you're gonna take Arlen's throne?
It turns out Banner's the big bad. What can I say? Like,
Oh no.
right, y'all
So,
slept
so
for a second.
we're
twist.
jumping back
Adam,
in.
you finally got me back after Craig's game. Can't believe
Right.
it.
Right.
So we're jumping back in with Banner demanding Arlen swear fealty with a blade.
Right.
Which is wild because he's never used a sword as long as we've
Right.
seen him.
Right. Right. Which is
Has used a hatchet or a
Yeah.
throwing axe.
Yeah. Yeah. And made all the more entertaining by the fact that he's got a big battle axe. He's just been hauling around with him, but
It
never
goes
take
with
it
the
out once.
box.
Right. Right. It's a matching set. You want me to leave it? So you're out of your mind. No, I think
Find Harold
yeah.
after like years of him being gone. Like, where's your axe? What happened to
Right.
your axe?
Actually, it would be fucking great. Like, if in fact Banner was the big bad, right? And at some point later on down the road, like, obviously it would have to be towards the end of the campaign, but at some point you find out, dude, Harold's been in the box the whole time.
Oh boy.
Bonkers.
It's dark. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and here's the thing, like, it's super dark, and I don't know which is darker, like, if Harold's alive or if he's dead. Like, I don't know which one's worse. but
I mean,
it's super bad
definitely
either
dead.
way.
Like definitely dead. Because if he's alive, then like it's been 8 years. He's got a magical system. He pops his head out. Ah, fresh air. It's comical. But like you
Right.
open that box and it's gnome bones in there. Like that's
Right.
fucking dismal.
Yeah, but what
Uh,
if it's not just pops his head out? What if like secretly while everyone has been sleeping,
It's been
Banner has been feeding
Yeah.
Harold,
feeding.
cracking open the box and dropping in bits of like trail ration. It's not
Right.
like Banner's eating them, but
Right.
where are they going?
Oh God, what was the
Right.
name of the feral gnome in Salt
Swarp.
Marsh? Swarp.
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so I believe where we actually left off was all of the individuals that wanted to use the Fey beacons had. And so we were with Gleam and Glister and Hurley and a couple individuals that just decided they wanted to go with them back through the mirror to the carnival. The only question that I've got is like, do we want to wait here for Alagathus to come back? Right? Do we feel confident that in the current state, Alagathus can probably get these beacons lit and do his thing? Right? Or are we just going to say that we've waited for? Although I guess Ted, this is a question for you. Do we just want to say we've waited and Alagathus has gotten back?
I was going to say that it has taken some time getting everybody to their respective worlds. You are standing there with Gleam and Glister, and like you said, the handful of others who are waiting to, excuse me, use the beacons. And with the Witchlight Carnival traveling as it does, and with the time differential, well, potential for rather a difference in time flow between wherever it is on the material plane and where you are in the Feywilds, it is certainly just as easy for them to use the beacons than it is to use the mirror. Especially given that you all are aware that those mirrors each have had command words, and you could certainly find it. I believe Identify would give you the command word, but it has not been a thing that you all have stumbled upon just yet. And so, rather than wait or put you out for having to identify the mirror when you already know what it does, since the Fey beacons can take them there, it is it is easier for them and for you at that point to light the beacons uh, and return them through the water to the Witchlight Carnival. And it is while the beacons are being lit, 5 or so of the 8 beacons have been lit when Prince Alargathas returns. Returns to the Fey beacons looking somewhat dour and down. He is there is no, not regality, that's not the word. Regalness. Regalness, is that a word? He
I
has
think
lost
you had
the
it with regality. Now I don't know.
regality.
Nobility.
Yeah, there we go. That'll work. There, he has lost the confidence and nobility with which he was moving around before. And he sees you all light the last couple of beacons and is standing on the water's edge as Gleam and Glister and Hurley hug each of you, especially Arlen and Court, who both get hugged an extra time. Be safe. Let us know you're safe, and come home soon, please.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a whole lot left on our to-do list.
We, I don't know what the hags did to the people in that palace, but mind yourselves, and mind that mind the mind that you all come back safely. Mind the weird flying creature, and whoever that group was that Charme was speaking about,
Hmm.
League or whoever. Is is there something you want me to tell your parents? Just, I mean, I'll tell them that you're
Yeah.
okay and you're royalty now, apparently. Um,
No, yeah, I mean, I think that was really it. Like, that was exactly what I was gonna say. Um, I think I might have said it in the other order, but like, I think you've got the right idea.
Banner, Hemlock, is there anyone? I mean, I don't know when we'll be back on Faerun, but if we're there,
Hemlock just shakes his head.
I believe I am fine. Although, if you see a small gnome, balding with white bushy hair on the sides, and a coat similar to this, if that answers to Harold, if you see him there, you tell him I am looking for him to stop moving.
we'll keep all of our eyes out. As you have seen so many other rescues from Motherhorn do, the lot of them wade out into the water. Uh, the water parts and reforms, but does not ripple until, uh, with some of the smaller members, some of the goblins, definitely having to hang on to Hurley to keep their heads above the lake's surface. They make it out into what is um, the familiar gate in front of the Witchlight Carnival. You can see Nicholas the Goblin sitting in his ticket booth. A line of a line of individuals waiting to purchase their tickets. There is a ripple as Nick's eyes go wide. The group steps through, and then they are gone with uh, a combination of silver moonlight and orange firelight. Each of the beacons goes out, and you are left standing on the shores of the lake at the center of the Fey beacon. The elf prince Alargathos, standing on the shore, bends down and picks up the now extinguished torch that he had been using to attempt this task before.
Did you find what you were looking for?
He winces. There was no victory. For me, anyway. I have been here so long, my kingdom is changed. I was to
Changed.
spend a single year here with Endelin. It seems that on Toril, several decades have passed. My kingdom is still there. Some damage has been done by the dragon, but it still stands. I will make my way home and see what can still be salvaged. I am hopeful for my people.
I am sorry it was not better news.
He shakes his head. You have slain the one responsible for this. That is all I could have asked. Good luck on your journey. I will.
And good luck on yours as well.
As I said, if you should ever find yourself there, you still have friends there.
I will make a point of stopping by.
He begins the slow ascent up the up the nearest column, making his way around the stairway that rises to the top, and you see him after a few moments light the brazier and then begin making his way down.
I'll elbow Arlen.
Yeah, I'll fly over and try giving him a ride.
That is appreciated. I have spent enough time away from home, shaving a considerable amount of time off of his trip. The Peritons do not return, or at least do not actually trouble you or him. You can see them off in the distance watching you all. The 6 sets of yellowish eyes peering down at you, but they make no move to interfere or to snuff out the flames. As the last beacon is lit and you bring the Prince Alargathos down to the edge of the lake, looking into the water's surface, there is excuse me. The image in the water is that of a brilliantly green forest. Many of the trees almost unnaturally large, holding walkways on the outside or grown into the branches, similar to the ones around the columns of the Fey beacons, although not stone. Obviously. There are some some trees whose branches have been very clearly broken off and have been broken off sometime in the past and have begun to regrow. There are a number of elven individuals moving about the walkways and through the branches and buildings, and as Alargathos moves out into the water, there is what is quite clearly a surprised cry and cheer from the individuals on the other side. There's no sound that comes through the lake, but you can see the look of surprise, which very rapidly turns to excitement and joy as they all race to meet their prince as he appears through the port. There is the briefest moment of a smile on Alargathus's, that's an awful name, wizards, I'm just saying. Alargathus's face as the image fades, and you are left standing around standing at the edge of the Fey beacons, the torch once again extinguished on the edge of the water, and nothing but the clear sky and stars above you, the occasional glimpse of the Peritons off, perched atop a peak, uh, uh, just at the edge of your vision. That task complete, you trek back through the stone pathways and valleys of the mountains of Yan. The trip back as undisturbed as your trip out here. Occasionally, shadows of various creatures follow you, but not making any attempt to either hide or get close to you. They are simply following you and letting you know they are there. They wave and um, make what would presumably be funny faces at you, but with just being a shadow, you really just more get things like fingers in the ears and uh, uh, funny poses and the like, as the shadows which Endlin had collected during her time in Prismere remain um, separated from their individuals. Many of the crew of Motherhorn have left, and so when you arrive, uh, a handful of the Darklings remain. The trio in the library uh, stand waiting. Stand when you come in. They had been seated and reading where you first encountered them. But otherwise, the large hallways and echoing stone rooms of Motherhorn remain empty. To the belfry, or is there anything anyone wanted to do here in Motherhorn before you head out, before you go to your next destination?
Anyone wish to know their future? I am personally afraid to look.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a volume about Harold's future. Maybe it can tell us where to find him. And I'll head up to the library.
The goblins who had been fetching books are now gone, having left through the beacons to return to the world with the strange lightning contraptions and metal carriages. The three Darklings, like I said, they stand when you walk in, and the same one that had spoken to you previously, just with very little fanfare, uh, simply asks if there is anything that they can acquire for you.
Yes, I am looking for a book or any information about my friend Harold Babblepitch. I don't know what additional information I need to give you in order to find the tome, if one exists.
They whisper to each other for a moment before one of them darts away and returns uh, after 10 or so minutes with a very thin black book bound in leather, as so many of these books are, that um, has no title, has no marks on the cover at all, front or back or spine, and with long, slender gray fingers, she twirls through the pages before coming to a stop and turning the book to you, and you can see that it is written in Endelin's very intricate Elvish script, and when it becomes clear that you can't read this, she turns the book around and and begins babble pitch. Has will find his way to an old companion, but the the past will catch up with them. There is there is sure to be a fight, and then frozen. I'm afraid that's all it says.
Hmm.
It simply stops. That's peculiar. Usually there should very often be alternates, if uh, potentials, but here there's nothing. Not even finality. She very slowly closes the book and hands it to you.
Um, I'd just hold on to the book and sort of tap it absent-mindedly against my chest and say, well, it is certainly good news, for I must either be the old companion or the pest catching up with him. But either way, it means we will be reunited, which is good. And with all of us together, I am confident that we can handle whatever future was too obscure for Endelin to observe.
Benno,
Hmm.
what of the fellow that we saw in Jan Spinner's book, Strongheart, and the battlefield?
Well, perhaps Strongheart is the companion of the past that is catching up with him. Do you think perhaps they have a book on Strongheart here? Maybe we can get more information about that relationship. Yes, there is a. I don't even know how to begin. Harold had a companion at one point, a Strongheart. They were at one point working together to survey the lost city.
I will
This-
project a minor illusion of his visage in case there's a description of him in some other text.
This is a thing that has already happened. Is that correct?
It is, but we were hoping that perhaps there was a future for this individual Strongheart. Maybe that has something to do with Harold's future as well?
Or a future that was written some time ago so that it is now past.
Hmm.
There is once again a back and forth in Elvish as they debate on where this might potentially go. This time they all split. Like they all separate and begin pouring through this library, climbing up on shelves and or climbing up on ladders rather, and pulling books from shelves, uh,
Spider
leafing
climb
through them,
librarians.
and then closing them and putting them back until one of them lets out a little uh, um, exclamation. That's the word I'm looking for. A little exclamation of surprise, and comes back to you with a with a tome. This one considerably thicker than the one that uh, the one in which Harold's future was written down, and in a different voice, uh, or rather in a heavily accented common, simply, it it is the same. It look, Strongheart. He he and his group, Valor's Call, they will find their way to the builder, it says here. And then it's an old friend and an old enemy. And then it stops. It simply stops. There is no death. There is nothing.
Have you
Very
ever
peculiar.
encountered a prediction that ended thusly?
Oh, I have not seen all of them, but this is certainly strange. Eh, Despite her claims, Endelin could not perfectly see the future. The future, it is not set enough. Much changes it. But for there to be nothing, nothing at all, that is very strange.
Well, this has been very helpful. I appreciate it very much. Hemlock, would you like them to look up either yours or perhaps your sister's future? And I know you said you might not be able to bear it, but if not, perhaps they could tell Arlen or myself, and we could just let you know if it is positive or negative.
I don't know. I don't know that there is really any way that any of it could be positive. Either I lose my family forever and remain running from them forever, or they catch me. And either Yarrow has herself restored and perhaps alerted to the horrors of the life we've lived. She remains in ignorance and bliss and violent tragedy. I don't know that there is any way that there is anything more to learn that would make my path any easier.
Hmm. Very well. I trust that you know what is best for how you should proceed. Alan, it is once in a lifetime chance. Any questions you have about your future?
Absolutely not. I'll learn it when I get there.
Hmm. Wonderful. Then I think our business here is concluded. Now it is just to find a way to the palace.
I suppose could take the aircraft or the safer, less effortful lily pad and just fly.
Amidor,
We
what
gotta
do
go
you
ring the
suggest?
bell. We can ring the bell and see what that does. I think that was supposed to be a way to get there.
All right.
Well, let us see what the future holds. Let's head to that bell.
Back up the spiral stone staircase, all the way to the top of the Tower of Motherhorn. It takes a minute to clear away the last of the fake ceiling rafters and board that hid this large silver bell, which, when freed, hangs nearly to the ground. And as
Did
the
did we ever get anyone to translate the elven inscription around this thing? Am I just making that up, Ted, or am I remembering that correctly?
yeah, you did. You had Gleam and Glister translate,
Okay, awesome,
and it said, "Toll the bell within this spire to journey to your heart's desire."
excellent.
And as you yank the rope to ring this enormous silver bell, the sound reverberating, since you are all so close, very delicate sound for how large this bell is. Um, Immediately upon the horizon, uh, coming from the palace, you see a number of shapes appear in the clouds, and as they come closer over the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, um, their shape resolves into that of enormous birds, giant cranes. Where did I put the indents? Giant cranes that land on the edge of the belfry, plop onto the stone floor, and with a, an almost unnatural grace, bow before all of you. There are four of them, and they bend down and wait patiently, uh, staring at you expectantly. Amador and Pollinella look at the cranes and then look at all of you. Well, it would seem as though you do not need me after all.
Thank you for all that you've done for us.
Thank you. If it was not for you, my love, Pollinella, she would still be in jeopardy of going back to that Cyclops, and Gleam and Glister would still be separated and in danger. Now, all of Yon is free. And he draws his blade and holds it up in salute, and then bows so low the yellow ends of his dandelion face brush the ground. It's clearing a little bit of the dust away. Pollinella buzzes happily in a circle around him as he straightens back up. Good luck to you. If you should ever need anything, you have only to call. I will find you. Climbing onto the cranes, which are large enough even to support you, if a little awkwardly, Banner.
Mhm.
The birds take back to the sky, flying directly back along the path that they came, flying over the mists. You see a very large where is the map I'm trying to put you on? I can take you to the overview of Prismeer finally.
Oh,
That's a pretty cool map.
oh my God. Look at the dog.
As you are as the cranes take off from the second level of the Tower of Motherhorn, and all of Prismeer stretches out below you, you see many of the places that you have visited as you make your way towards the center of Prismeer, towards a large picturesque, practically fairy tale castle that rises out of the mists. You can see past its parapets to thither, where a patch of moving foliage is no doubt Little Oak. The is no doubt Little Oak, the treant hideout of your friends. You can see the very tip of Slanty Tower sticking out of the swamps of Hither, where your journey practically began. Um, the palace emerges from the clouds, a great marble tower with delicate spires um, uh, jutting out at various places, casting shadows over rooftops and gardens below them. There is a tower that has been practically torn from its foundations, uh, held up into the sky by a giant beanstalk that seems to be growing out of one part of the palace. Monstrous vines jutting off this beanstalk are clinging to the parapets, the palace walls, just all of the all of the rock where this beanstalk and vines has suffered and crumbles a little bit. And as the palace grows bigger and bigger, larger and larger in your view, hundreds of birds below you suddenly burst out of forest canopy, scattering in all directions, as not long afterwards a far more monstrous and fearsome creature follows suit, erupting from the woods. A sinewy, pale green dragon that takes to the sky, flies towards the palace. This is not like any dragon you've ever seen, even in storybooks. There is no great long snout, no swept back horns, no fin along its back or spine. Just a long, long neck ending in a small head with large eyes that even at this distance you can see glowing with a strange radiance. It flies above the palace, maybe 5, 10, 10 or so minutes, maybe. Uh, Not minutes. You will be where it is in a few moments, but it is certainly far enough away that it has not noticed you. And as it reaches the palace walls, the palace to which you are heading, it suddenly drops, pulling its wings in tight, dropping down and disappearing through the walls. And when you get a better view, you can see that there are large portions of some of the outer walls which are completely missing. Um, the the view, however, lasts only for a moment before the cranes upon which you ride um, uh, fly over a large white marble wall, bringing you above an enormous garden. Uh, a a a a ring of standing stones beneath you. You can, as you come over the wall, you can see several large towers and a large lake, a river winding its way through the garden. And eventually, the birds settle down and set down not far from from a large pair of silvery gates, which you could see connecting to the Queen's Way road, the same road that the portal from the Witchlight Carnival deposited you on when you very first arrived in Prismeer. You are inside the garden walls. The scent of roses and cowslips and hyacinths are those smells are all around you. The sounds of songbirds, the sounds of string instruments, and the sounds of voices from a large pavilion tent not far from where you are. There is a large glittering stream connected to the pond that you saw, shaded by willows, and perhaps the oddest thing, other than the sounds coming from the pavilion tent, voices, a few songbirds, and a few instruments, the entire garden is silent. Though there is a stream, though you see fountains, there is no sound of water. You can see creatures, birds, insects, small critters like chipmunks or squirrels, but none make any sound. In fact, none of them are moving at all. A cloud of gnats sits perfectly still a songbird chasing another of its kind, held perfectly in the air. Their wings don't flap. There's nothing to keep them aloft, and yet they do not fall. Water arcs out of a fountain into a basin, but the water doesn't move. Other than the pavilion tent, there is no sign that anything is alive here. They're not necessarily dead. Everything is simply frozen. And I think that is where we will stop for this week. I don't want to get too far into the Palace of Heart. I can actually drop you on that map. I should probably actually drop you on that map first, though. Hopefully.